Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Inside with Lifepoint Youth. Our ninth episode, called Words of Life. We're gonna talk about how the things that you say can speak life. Because last week we spoke on how the things you can say, can tear people down, and all that. So I have my questions here. Are y'all ready for the first question?
Yes.
Okay, so my first question is, do you think your words have the power to give life to people? Why or why not? Alex.
I think it can give life to people because, we can say something and it can, bring someone up, but we can also say something and, tear them down. And, I think whenever we say something nice to someone and they've been having a really bad day, it just brings life into their day.
That's a good point.
I'd say it could, because a lot of the time, during football games, at halftime or right before, our coaches will motivate us, and even though they're yelling at us, screaming at us, it's in a good way. I remember during our second Grissom game, it was Coach Oliver, pretty much punched.
King, love him.
Yes, I love Coach
We
O.
need to interview
Oh my
Channel.
gosh.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's crazy. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, but anyways, so he 100% punched Tucker T, dead in his chest.
Oh
He was
my
like,
God.
"Let's win this football game." We lost it, but
The motivation was there. The motivation. It was
But-
there.
The effort was there.
It
yes.
was.
But that game, Tucker did very, very good. And yeah, so words can bring up people and motivate
That's
them.
good. Ava?
So I don't think words can bring life into people. I think they do bring life into people. Everything that you and everything that you say is gonna have an impact on somebody. And Clay talked about tonight intent. If you have the intent that you want to have inside, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not saying what I'm trying to say. If deep down you have an intent and you don't speak it out of your mouth, it's not going to turn out good, because he said this too, that you don't wake up each morning and think, oh, I'm going to go degrade somebody, but you also don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to be intentful with my words and make a positive impact instead of a negative impact.
Clay was saying something it doesn't matter. God is not looking, say you say a cuss word or whatever, right? God, what?
I know, I'm pointing at
Oh,
you.
I
I
thought
know
you
what
were
you're trying to say. I got you.
It's not that he's up there oh, there goes another one. Oh, there goes another one. He looks at your heart. He looks at your, did he say it? He looks
Intent.
at your
Yeah.
Intent. Your intentions deep
That's
down.
what he was saying, is that he looks at your intention. So I think that the words that you speak can give people life, or can give life to people, because it's just your intention is what matters, and whatever you say can just lift someone up instead of tearing someone down. May, do you have anything?
Well, since it's already on me, hello. I just feel like I don't know. I'm a person with a lot of thoughts, and I have a lot of opinions, and I can sometimes lash out because of my opinions. And lately, I've been just trying to, as you saw today, I've just been trying to be nicer, and I just feel like the words that you say can really affect people, and the words that you say can be the reason somebody has the worst day ever, but it can also be the reason somebody has the best day ever. It's not hard to give a compliment. Say you're pretty to somebody, say your outfit looks good. If you feel that, don't be shy, to bring somebody up.
if you say something to somebody, if you compliment somebody or you give them a tip or like just I spend a lot of time with I don't even know who do I say Alex. I spend a lot of time with you at practice. And if I came up to you one day and I was like, Alex, I've noticed how hard you've been working at practice. I'm so proud of you. And I noticed the work you're putting in, even if sometimes it doesn't always go seen or things like that. It's gonna make your day so much better. And every time that you do something, you're probably gonna think about that. And like if you really mean something, because giving a compliment, like saying, "Oh, your hair looks really good today," it makes you feel good, right? But I feel like compliments more about your character or your drive to do things are more impactful.
Oh, and like, yeah, exactly like you're saying, when people like point out, they're like, "Oh, I'm proud of you for doing this, this, and this," or like when people like notice things that you're doing instead of like yes, compliments about like your outfit and your hair. Like, yes, obviously girls love that because it just gives you confidence. But I do think that whenever you like get told, "Hey, you're doing a really good job at, I don't know, just whatever it is, like you're just doing a really good job at this thing," it to me it's a lot. It means a lot more than like just yeah.
Along with what you were saying and what with Avon was saying, like when someone says something, when you're doing something, like you always think to yourself. Well, I always think to myself like no one's looking. Why am I doing this? But then like what Avon said, if she tells me I'm doing good and like she's noticed how hard I've been working, then that gives me motivation to keep on doing it, and like it lets me know like people do notice.
Vegas sweetie facts.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Something I suffer with is when somebody gives
Sorry, I just like switched it 20 times.
when somebody gives me a compliment, it goes out the other ear. But when somebody says something bad, it just sticks in my head forever. So that's another reason you should always be nice.
That is
Also,
really-
because we as humans focus, or we tend to hang on to negative things rather than positive.
So one thing Clay said during today is he said that when you just go through your day, just saying whatever comes to your mind, you will say negative things. You will say positive things. Oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say. But let me think for a second because I know what I was going to say and it was good. Someone else can talk while I think. Hold.
So kind of what Avon was talking about, the compliments. Something that like something that I've been trying to work on is when I give somebody a compliment and like I'm like one time I was like, "Oh, this girl, she like did really good makeup, right?" And I was like, "Oh, your makeup looks so good." And then she just gave me the mean stare. And I literally told her, I said, "I take it back." So that's something that's something I've been trying to work on. Like, don't expect anything back from anybody else.
That's such a you thing.
Like,
It's like so funny.
yeah, like you guys, Valley, so I've done it to her. Like, I'd be like, "Oh, you look so good," and then when they just say silent, I'm like, "I lied." Some people, I'm just like, "Oh, I lied," or they're like, just give me the mean stare, and I'm like, "Never mind." And that's something I've been trying to. That's something I've been trying to work on is don't expect anything back from anybody else. Like, give and don't expect to be like be the giver and don't expect to be like given back to, like just do stuff.
What is that? There's like a saying for that. Is it not? It's like be the
Give even when you don't receive, or
yeah yeah
No, it's something
give
else.
or
Give what you get.
no, it's like
Get what you get and you don't pitch.
it's like
I said give what you get.
Babes, the camera's not on.
I don't even know what it. Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't. Okay, y'all ready for the next question?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna say.
okay.
Okay, so our bottom line tonight was build up even if you feel torn down. And like if you build someone up or something, you'll feel like so much better about yourself. Like it's just do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Y'all ready for the next question?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna do.
It's not on you.
Okay. Oh, y'all were so right. The camera is not on me. Okay, sorry, I'm out of it. What does it mean to let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, which is verse 29 of
James.
no Ephesians.
Yeah.
Ephesians 29. It's let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth. What does it mean, and how can we tell when our words are helpful or harmful?
I feel like Pearl was talking about this in small groups, that whenever we're like, when the second question, that like if we can tell if it's, what's the question say, the second one?
How can we tell when our words are helpful or harmful?
Yeah, I think we can tell when they're helpful or harmful, because like whenever they're harmful, you'll always have like a feeling in you that you're like, should I say this or not? And whenever you hesitate, I feel like that's when you know, like, maybe I shouldn't say this.
Can I say? Oh, sorry.
you
Go
got
ahead. Something that I've just been working on a lot, and I've been proud of myself for this, is like, I don't know, just lately, I've been holding myself back from saying like really bad stuff, like me, not like that, like just saying mean stuff, you know? Like somebody could be talking, like my two friends could be talking about somebody, and I just like sit there and listen. Like I don't say anything, I don't add anything on, I don't go tell them after. Like I've just been listening, you know? And I've just been trying to work on that. So like don't be the person that when you hear somebody talking smack, you want to be like, oh, it's my chance to shine and tell all the stuff I gotta say too. Cause that's how I used to be, you know? Like when people would talk smack about somebody else, I'd be like, oh, so let me tell all my experiences. Like it's like when I've had a bad experience with somebody and nobody can relate, when I finally find someone that can relate to it, I feel like talking about it, you know? And then it just turns out negative.
Yeah. Haven?
or something, or if you do add something, instead of it being like I like using this word, degrading.
Aesthetic.
Make it constructive. Like oh my gosh, I need to bring my Bible in here in a second, but there's like a section in the Bible that talks about judging others and what like Christian judging is, what that means, and it's basically like constructive criticism. But it's she's getting my Bible for me, I think, but I'll read it in a minute.
I remembered what I was going to say earlier. So when I go through my day, just saying whatever I want to, not really think about what I'm saying. One thing I try to think about is people can take my words however they want to. So I could like compliment someone and say like, hey, you got a nice shirt. Hey, your outfit looks good today. And they could take it as they're making fun of me because they're this and that, and they don't believe in themselves. But people can take other people's words however they want to, and you just need to understand that as you go through your day, so you don't say something positive and it's taken as negative. You have to make sure they know your words are confirmed.
Haven?
Okay, I've got my Bible now. This is Matthew 7 verse 1-6, and it reads, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way that you judge others, you will be judged, and to the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when all this time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces."
That's a really good point. I saw this I think it was like this Instagram reel or TikTok, or I don't know what it was, but it was something that I saw.
Reels.
It was something that I saw, and it was like you can't judge people for something that you're doing. You can't, shouldn't judge people at all. But if you do, judge someone, not the should, but say you end up judging someone being like, oh, they're doing this too much, or they're like doing this and that's like embarrassing, and like just saying anything about them, you can't judge people for something that you like haven't worked on yourself. And like, we're not perfect, they're not perfect, we get that, but don't tear people down May.
Clay was kind of. I lost my train of thought about what Clay was saying, but a really important thing came up in my mind. Is like when somebody is like doing something, don't like when somebody is like doing something bad in front of you, don't let it like slide, you know?
Yeah.
Like when like when somebody's like, for example, if your friend is like vaping right next to you, don't like be like, "Oh yeah, that's a good thing you're doing." Like don't agree to, I don't know, don't judge, but at the same time don't let the bad stuff slide, you know, because
Yeah.
our whole life's mission is to wait. Our whole life mission is to wait for Jesus to come back, but at the same time is to help others wait for Jesus to come back, you know?
Does anyone else have anything to say before I? Okay.
So May said about people like vaping next to you. What I do in situations like that is I ignore it. I don't encourage it, and I just am friends with him for the other reasons.
Right.
So, like, one thing I pride myself in is I'm good at looking past a lot of people's problems.
That's a good point. Yeah. This next question kind of follows up with like what, I guess, kind of like what May was talking about, and it says that verse 30, I think, Ephesians. I think Ephesians 30. It talks about not grieving the Holy Spirit. So this is going to be our last question, and it says, "How do our words and actions affect our relationship with God?" May.
If I'm correct, in the Bible it says that everybody's made in God's image, right? So like that kind of, God is a very like compassionate person. He's a gentleman and he just cares about everything. Like he cares about the bad stuff more than he cares about the good stuff, you know? And so I just feel like, wait, sorry, what was the question?
It was, how do our words and actions affect our relationship with God?
I mean, so it's like what I was saying, God is a compassionate person. So like if we're created in the image of God, you would want to be like him, you know? So like be compassionate and be a gentle lady and like open the door for your friend and also be a gentleman and open the door for like people and like
Right.
just, you know, just help people because God helps people.
I think the way that we speaks a lot about who we are or how we are in our relationship with God. Because like I said it before, like we're not all perfect, right? But the thing is like the way that you speak, is it pushing people away from God or is it pushing people closer to God? People may look up to you and people may see Jesus through you, but if you're out here saying things and gossiping and cussing and judging and, you know, all the things that you shouldn't be doing, then people may think people may think it's okay for them to do that because people are like, oh, she's a good Christian. She's doing it. I can do it too, you know? So sometimes the way that you speak can bring life. So if you know, maybe are like, I don't like to gossip because it's not right to talk about other people. It shows people how it just shines Jesus' light through you, and it shows who you are as a person on the inside. And that's kind of what I answered when we were talking about that part in small group, is like it can either push people away from God and Christianity, or it can just push people closer to God and Christianity. So you just have to, you know, speak life and not push people away. Avon?
Wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
How do our words and actions affect our relationship with God?
Oh, I was going to say that if you say things that you don't want to be how people think of you, because anything you say, especially if you just met somebody, that's their first impression of you, or that's what they think of you whenever somebody mentions your name. And if what you're saying doesn't reflect how you want to be seen, then you should change that. And then also that I think a lot of people don't practice what they preach. And that's really important as a Christian, just so other people can see how it works in your life.
Last input.
One very small thing. Every time we have mentioned something about women, Alex has like flipped towards me as fast as she could because I'm the odd one out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining us with our first table. We're gonna take a break and then we are going to come back with our second table.
Are you ready?
Oh wait.
Table one
Loves you. There's nothing you can do about it.
Ow! We're dabbing again. Wow. That's a lot for me. What happened to that? Hello guys, welcome back to the second table after our break. We have I don't even know who's gonna are you gonna crop this? Are you gonna like crop this?
Well, I mean, I would like to, but
Okay, we have Grace, Pearl, Clay, and Ruth. So I honestly don't remember what questions I asked first table, so if I asked the same question, I'm sorry. But okay.
same question, different audience.
I think
Facts.
I think
Or it's not. It's the same audience, I suppose.
no, but it's different
Table.
people.
Different table.
Different
Opinions.
different
Insights.
statements.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Okay.
Different
So-
wisdom.
Oh, okay.
More.
Better.
Go ahead, Adrian.
So I'll just start off with this one because it's just, simple. Do you think your words have the power to give life to people? Why or why not? And what does it mean?
Yep. Well, that's my answer. You asked yes.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I just did a whole sermon on
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, it says, what does it mean?
I ain't criticizing your question. I'm just saying.
Hey, you're the one that asked these questions. These are your questions.
I know. I'm saying. The reason I said what I just said.
your own
I'm not
question.
criticizing the question. I'm saying I don't need to answer that because I just spent the last 2 hours answering.
We
that.
just spent the last 2 hours listening. So what?
Okay, well then, share your insights on what you've learned.
If you were in there.
Anna Ruth, were you not in there?
Not for part of it. No.
Lovely. I was planning
I was
a
trying to
worship
speak
set
life
for
into
next
someone's
Wednesday.
life, actually.
Yeah, it's good to know that. Just speaking to thin air. And everybody's left and had better things to do.
Yeah. You want to know something really funny? So me and Grace, sorry, change of topic, but it kind of goes along with the questions in some way. Me and Grace I walked into the room, our small group room, and Marley and Journey were sitting in me and Grace's chairs, and Marley and Journey acted like me and Grace the entire time. And I was like, do y'all want to run small group? And they were like, sure, honey. And acted like me. And I was like, okay. And so they ran the small group and acted like us. And we kind of acted like them. We gave I mean,
You looked at each other and giggled.
no, we actually did. We did. Is this mean to say? And then
If it is, I'll just cut it out.
okay. And then we looked up what is the meaning?
Give context why we did this.
Okay, there's one girl in the small group, and she literally, it looks like she's read from a book every single time she answers a question in small group.
She answers well, is what you're saying.
Yes,
But it's
like scripted, like a script.
Paragraphs.
Yeah.
That you would look up on Google.
And so we looked up what is the meaning and overall vision for Ephesians, blah, 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 through blah, blah, blah. And we read that out as our answer and observations in small group. Yes. And then whenever there was one girl in the small group, she doesn't really say much. And Marley would be like, don't be shy. Don't be shy. You're safe. You're loved. You're being prayed for.
I'm praying for you.
I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. And then Journey would be like, or we go back and forth in the small group and we're like, do you want to, you go. And they did that the entire time. And they were like, oh, I just love you so much. Just back and forth. And I was like, did we do that? Yes. We do. It was crazy accurate of how well they portrayed us.
Did you just admit to sabotaging your own small group? Is that what you just admitted to?
If that's what you want to take out of that story, then yeah, sure.
I will say
They did run the
They
small
per-
group well.
they participated more when
Yeah.
Marley and Journey were doing it. So
That's good.
maybe that's the
Did
new-
they actually get something out of small group?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we would also like transition back to who we were.
right. Like we didn't just.
You controlled the room. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If stuff got too carried away, which it
Again,
really
our two goals of the small group: read the Bible, and have something to say about it, and then know that our small group leaders care. So
But
if you can, accomplish those two goals, I don't care how you do it.
But everybody focused a lot more and like actually participated more when they were up there. And so I don't know if it's just because it's their friends or they felt more comfortable.
Probably.
But I'm not questioning it because it went good. So.
I'm telling you, like it's one of the simplest, but seemingly missed things about leadership. If you empower people and give them purpose, it changes everything.
I don't know. It was really funny, like hilarious. But they still gave a good amount of stuff. Like they responded less shallow than. Oh, that's also. I have such bad vocabulary when it comes to like trying to present myself well.
They answered with more depth this week.
Yes, they answered in more depth because they were
Not
trying.
shallow.
They were trying.
They answered not shallow.
They're
This
shallow
week they
children.
answered not shallow.
Your pearl voice is funny.
That's not even what I sound like.
No, it ain't.
No.
Your Adri voice is good.
Like, yeah.
Everybody has an Adrian
Oh my
voice.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is making fun of each other's voices lifting
Speaking
up?
life. Is it speaking life?
Empowering.
Mm.
So back to the question.
I don't know. That's so. In all seriousness, that's interesting because that could fall under that comma that we talked about in Ephesians 4:29 of as fits the occasion. Because, like, it's kind of like the importance of a roast. Like not food.
Like a food?
No, not like food. Like you
Oh,
roast somebody.
Like with Kevin Hart?
I guess I don't
Okay.
know, but the concept, yeah.
Yeah.
The person's being roasted actually gets thoroughly or quite a bit of enjoyment
Yeah.
out of it. That's hilarious. It's a good point. Yeah.
Adri, do you enjoy us making fun of your voice?
Yeah, because I think it's funny.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what matters.
It's accurate.
As fits the occasion,
That's
you
what
know.
matters.
Build up.
Because people tell me that I have a podcast voice and they like my voice. So it's
That's true.
funny.
Well, I mean, and but again, to what I said tonight, that's the difficulty of that little phrase in that verse is if you're not careful, we could dig a knife into Adri's heart pretty quick and then use
Yeah.
that excuse.
I think when it comes to like joking with somebody, because I know we always talk about how in our like society now, like you can say, "Oh, I don't like your hair. I'm just kidding."
Mm.
But I think like with me and Pearl, we joke with each other a lot, and sometimes we say negative things about each other, but we both know that it's a joke. And then if it ever goes too far, then
Also, that's never. That has never been the case. I don't think we've ever joked like to where it brought each other down, like
Yeah.
ever.
Well, I
we
mean,
know our limit.
I think too it's important to keep in mind not as an excuse, but as just a reality that we don't live in some chamber of perfection.
Right.
It's not like I'm never going to upset you or say something I shouldn't. I'm going. It don't matter how hard I try to make my words speak life; they will hurt at some point.
Speak love.
Speak now.
I'm sorry.
Pearl's in a different place
Jesus,
tonight.
Taylor.
Some would say Jesus, Satan.
Right?
I mean, because that's an interesting thing to talk about. There's some people. So Adri, for anybody who don't know, Adri is an ultra Swiftie. I mean, like
I didn't know you were that ultra until you
Hyper
went to the
swift.
I
tour.
went to her concert. It was so much fun.
But some people, Adri, I mean, I'm interested in your opinion on this.
Some people think that Taylor's from Satan.
Yeah, like she sold her good grief. She sold her soul to Satan.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
Is that for real something?
Yeah.
What?
Like isn't it the Illuminati?
People really think that?
Yeah.
People
Interesting.
I
actually
would like to
like,
thank Beyonce for moving on. in
people
this
like will
podcast.
actually come up to me and be like, you know, Taylor is from the devil. This is my response. Okay.
Let's hear it.
It's actually kind of boring. So I just say, I really don't care what she does. I just like the way she writes, and I like her lyrics. And,
That's not entirely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's not entirely true?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she could do some things that would make you not like her.
No, I know, but I'm saying like,
No, she
like
would kill a baby and she would still be.
I sure hope not.
no, that's what I'm trying to say is like, just because, like, for example, just because Taylor wants to vote for Kamala Harris doesn't mean I'm going to go vote for Kamala Harris. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Like-
see. You
like-
put her in their correct spot in your life and influence.
Right. Like,
I
I
see.
just like
That's
her,
good. That's
I just like her lyrics. And I
glad
like,
to hear that.
I like the way that she writes, because the way that she writes is how it like it
Impacts
relates to me. It
Mm-hmm.
relates to me. And that's just like, I like feeling my feelings through music.
Mm.
And so it just like helps.
Well, then that makes my next question rather interesting because I don't know. This could be pure garbage. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't know.
I'm ready.
Like, I don't listen to her music, nothing like that. But I have heard and saw, limited to Facebook posts, so keep that in mind, that her lyrics are rather a-religious, like against Christianity, Jesus specifically. What's your thoughts?
Okay, so with that,
Is that true?
okay. So people have said that.
I'm a little troubled that you didn't say no immediately.
No, I'm getting there.
Okay,
So first off, people say that about a lot of artists.
that's true.
People
And
do
it's
say-
true about a lot of
And
artists.
That's true.
and it may be true about a lot of artists, right? I'm not
True.
saying Taylor does or doesn't, because I don't really
You don't want to
what-
look into it because you don't want to find something that's bad about her.
No,
It's okay. I've done it too.
no, I just like because I know like the songs that like I listen to that I relate to the most are just like the songs that I like or something like that. Like, there's no meaning behind it that's like, oh, I hate the Lord or I hate Jesus. You know what I mean? But I will say it kind of makes sense if it like if someone was like, oh, have you listened to this song? It talks about this, this, and this, and it's like she's giving her soul to the devil, and I'm like, okay. You know, like it's like to me, it's like
Great way to look at it.
I don't know how to like explain it.
Well, I would say too, again, not knowing the lyrics, so again, keep that in mind. But music is poetry, and
Yes,
poetry
Taylor is a poet.
and yes, thank you for that.
The
obvious
Tortured
truth.
Poets Department is one of the names of her
Oh,
albums.
okay, okay. Well, I thought we were just saying random things at this point. And
I'm sorry.
my point in saying that is that poetry is very much open to interpretation, and no one really knows the true interpretation and meaning of a poem other than the poet.
Right.
So, like for example, if you want to take Nirvana for example, Kurt Cobain would never tell what his songs meant because he wanted the song to mean whatever you needed it to mean. So he'd never tell you objectively what they were thinking when they
that's
wrote
really
the songs. So my point is someone could read her lyrics, read her poetry, and go, "Oh, well, she's obviously sold her soul to the devil," and that not be what she meant the entire time, or it could be that she did, and she's
Right.
used of the devil. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if people tell me that, I don't really like. It's not something that I've like been like, oh yeah, she has, or like, oh no,
You haven't
she
been
hasn't.
convicted to like stop listening to her music. I'm like encouraging you.
Well, it's just
She's
because-
not encouraging you. She's like encouraging you.
What?
She's like encouraging you.
She's like, I'm like encouraging you.
It's just like you said. Oh my gosh, I'm actually done.
No,
Like you
You're doing
said,
fantastic.
like you said, no one understands the poetry but the poet,
Indeed.
right? And it's just the way that some of the songs by her that I listen to is I apply it to situations in my life, and it just is like relatable to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know,
Have y'all ever read The Conqueror's Worm?
the what?
The Conqueror's Worm.
The
Is that a
Conquerors.
book?
It's a poem.
Oh,
Nope.
then no.
No.
If it was going to be a book, the answer would also have been no because I think I've read
I'm
3
sorry.
books in my
The
time.
Conqueror Worm.
Honestly, I think so too.
Let me read it to you real quick. This is by Poe.
Poe?
Ooh, Edgar
Edgar
Allan
Allan.
Poe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Lo, it's gala night within the lonesome latter years. An angel throng, bewinged, belight in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a theatre to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes, in the form of God on high, mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they who come and go, at bidding of vast formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure it shall not be forgotten, with its phantom chased from evermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth in to the self same spot, and much of madness and more of sin and horror the soul of the plot. But see, amid the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that writhes from out the scenic solitude. It writhes, with mortal pangs. The mimes become its food, and seraphs sob at vermin fangs in human gore imbued. Out are the lights, out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain of funeral pall comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels, all pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm they play is the tragedy man, and its hero, the conqueror worm.
Wow, that was really good.
Yes. Oh wait, snap. Sorry.
How long did it take you to analyze that and understand a word of it?
It's fantastic.
I
Okay,
Maybe
how
my-
long did it
maybe
take
my
you?
favorite poem of
you,
all time.
You get it, right? You get
I don't. What am I getting?
it. Like, no, you get the poem is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
get what it's saying.
100%.
I didn't get a single word.
Yeah.
I don't get any.
It
of
would take me a month to analyze
like
that.
it was like I don't get that.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's like when
But
I'm
put a
trying-
little tune or jig to it. You'll get it.
It's the poem. So
It's Taylor Swift.
I might
those
I might
words.
get this. I might get this a little bit wrong. I might not be entirely right with all of this, but the poem is putting mankind in an allegory of a play. And in the play you have actors and you have the audience, which is angels. And they're watching this play fold out, and at the end this conqueror worm eats and devours the actors.
Oh,
And the
so this is
angels-
about Jesus.
No.
Oh.
And the angels lament that this worm has conquered mankind. The worm is sin.
It's the opposite of Jesus.
Yes.
Wait, I'm
understand
sorry, what?
The worm is sin. It has
And then
no.
it conquered mankind.
Yes.
So it's like
And the angels are lamenting that this worm has conquered man.
lamenting.
Upset.
Yeah, like lamentations.
Yes.
Like you
Gold
look,
star.
This is like so off topic, but you like read this poem, so I'm about to read you this bridge that is like
Well, please do.
it's like one of like her
Oh, this is a Taylor Swift song?
yes, it's like one of her like most known bridges, and it
In
just
the
like
in the ICL. I'm sorry.
and it just like it like I relate to it so much,
Mhm.
right? Okay, so let me just read it. It says maybe we got lost in translation and maybe I asked for too much. Maybe this thing was a masterpiece till you tore it all up. Running scared, I was there, I remember it all too well. And you called me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest. I'm a crumbled up piece of paper lying there because I remember it all too well. Time won't fly. It's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it. After plaid shirt days and nights when you made me your own, now you mail back my things and I walk home alone. But you keep my old scar from that very first week because it reminds you of innocence and it smells like me. You can't get rid of it because you remember it all too well.
Too well.
All too well. Maybe we
When you
got
cut
lost.
me up again, just break me like a promise. I only know
Grace,
that.
are you not a fan of Swift?
I dislike Taylor Swift.
I'm not a fan of Swift, but I was not a fan of that either.
We need a mic in the middle of the table.
Yeah. Where's my mic at?
We do need mics.
I
in the
said
middle.
I
You're
said
not
that I'm
very
not a
awkward.
fan of Taylor, but I was not a fan of that. That is what I said.
Fair enough.
I mean, we only have a limited budget, Adri. We can't have, like, mics galore.
Hey, does anyone want to
Sponsor.
sponsor us?
We need better cameras too for anybody's.
We do need better cameras. These cameras make me want to
Be grateful for what you
Be
have.
grateful
Hey,
for
I'm so
the opportunity to.
The youth pastor brought it up, not me. We have great cameras, but they just
Oh, we don't have great cameras.
no. I mean, like they're good.
They're decent. Yeah, they're
They're,
good.
they're
Right.
good
They get the
cameras.
job
They
done.
get the
Right.
job done. Yeah.
They're good cameras,
That's right.
But also,
like,
this is not for quality. This is for opportunity and growth.
Pearl is in like this mood tonight of just saying whatever comes to her
This
mind.
side of Pearl.
Are you sleeping?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
I was actually talking to this, like,
Why are you pushing it farther away? Talk into the mic.
oh, yeah. But, I was actually telling the girls in my small group today when we were talking about all this, how, one of the things I need to work on is, like, really thinking before I speak.
oh yes.
That's all of us, Anna Ruth.
I know, but I know that.
But sometimes anaerobes can get really bad.
Yeah.
Hey, and you did really
At
good
least
tonight.
she's self-aware though. That's a plus.
And so the way that I described it to
Know
you,
thyself. Know thyself, said
Yeah,
Socrates.
I think I'm a very self-aware person. Or maybe,
Gold star.
or maybe I'm just not
I
self-aware.
mean, like, right in the span of 30 seconds, you say something that's admirable, and then you ruin it.
Okay, whatever. So
I know that I often,
He
I,
won't get
I
my
speak
thing.
without
I
thinking.
understand.
But I know myself really well. Like, that's what I'll do.
Because Adri said, okay.
Go ahead,
So
Anna
the
Ruth.
way that I described it was like there's words back here that form in my mind, and then instead of going through the spot where like I decide if I say to them or not, they just go.
They
straight
stop
to my
in your
mouth.
prefrontal cortex.
What? I don't know what that means, but they just go straight to
She's
my
been
mouth.
taking psychology.
I have.
And they just go straight to my mouth, and then by the time that I realize that there's words coming out of my mouth, this part is going stop.
Well-
Wait, but I can't stop. And
Well,
wait.
in all seriousness, I mean, again, the whole point of tonight, in my opinion,
There's that ASMR segment.
Oh, Mom will do it.
the whole point of tonight was about being intentional with your words. And the reason why you do that, I ain't trying to pick on you, but the reason why you word vomit like that and you say things that, oh, please don't say, it's because you're not being intentional with your words.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, I'm intentionally going to use my mouth for good today, then you won't do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's a
Instead, you have
purpose
no
to
plan.
speak.
And when you have no plan and no intentionality, you'll just and say
Yeah.
whatever.
What we do?
Whenever
I don't like that word vomit. I don't like that sound of that.
That's unfortunate because that's what it is.
You know who dislikes it more? Your victims. The people you hurt.
Yes, my goal today. It's like what you said. My goal today is to destroy everyone I come in contact.
It's to
with.
hurt Sally.
Dude, I'm just telling you, like it's so true. You're never gonna wake up. Yeah, you wouldn't know. You're never gonna wake up going, I want to hurt Sally today. I really want to do that. You'll just go hurt her because you hadn't.
That you're fishing on something.
Yeah,
dude.
like you hadn't been intentional about building Sally up.
I have a
Sometimes
question.
people.
I have a
Oh, no,
question.
I don't need to say that. See, look at me thinking.
Okay, if you wanted your if you wanted your words to bring life to others, what changes might you make?
Be intentional.
Yep.
Self-control.
Kind of what we were just saying, being intentional and focusing on something to do instead of just letting it vomit out. You said I had. What did you say about me? Didn't have a filter or today?
You're just
What?
saying whatever you think.
Saying
so.
whatever I thought. No. It used to be really really bad.
It was really.
It used to be really bad, and this is very good progression. But there's a whole lot more back there that I could be saying as well. This is still me holding back a little, you know?
Yeah,
I think so. In all seriousness, with that, I think a huge part of that too is getting to a place of humility in your life, to where you believe that your opinion isn't necessarily the right one. And by
Yeah.
you, I don't mean necessarily you. I'm talking about all of us. I'm talking
Right.
about the reason. I think a lot of the reason why we just word vomit and say whatever we want to say is because we think what I have to say is what someone needs to hear. And I have the most important thing to say. And then when you get to a place in life where you're like,
It's not.
my goodness, like I am in pursuit of wisdom and I have not arrived yet. When you do that, then you'll keep your mouth shut more often because you don't think that you have the best thing to say, and that's, you're God's gift to man, and they need to hear what you have to say.
I know it's different for small group purposes, but because that is me and Grace's job, and like as small group leaders, we're supposed to give the girls a little bit more wisdom and lead them. But I feel like that's why I was so like, it's okay that they're leading small group, because what I have to say is not the most important. What you're going to teach them is going to be more important than possibly what I have to say.
Oh, well, I don't know.
But also what they have to say to each other, and like the opportunity for them to be able to speak to each other was also just, it was easy to take the back burner with that.
This is somewhat off topic, but I think it's important. I very firmly believe in what's called discovery learning. You'll learn about this in psychology, probably.
Probably not.
Oh, well. I very firmly believe
what I only learned about in psychology.
That's true, unfortunately. I believe in what's called discovery learning. And it believes in this premise that
literally the only thing we talk about.
It believes in this premise that whatever you can learn and discover on your own is far more impactful to you than what I can tell you.
Yeah.
And so when you got students who are leading their own small group and you're guiding them through that and they get to discover that, then I think that probably makes a bigger impact than just, let me tell you the truth.
Yapping to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes the hard truth is hard.
I mean, that's why in a message illustration, that's why in a message illustrations are so important and analogies, because what I'm trying to get you to do is see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to see and feel, what I'm saying. And if you can't, then I'm just up here saying a bunch of information that you don't care nothing about.
If you will.
Yeah.
I think on like not to counter that, because everything you just said was right.
Thank you for that confirmation.
You're welcome. But on the opposite end of that, because we were talking about like speaking life tonight, I think there's a lot of times where, I know the girls in my small group talked about this, where like they'll have something in their mind that they really want to say that's uplifting and positive to somebody, and then they'll stop themselves because they're too scared.
Mm-hmm.
And
They need to get over it.
Anyways, and so what I was gonna say was like, I've been in that spot too, and so what I told them was, I really, really like. I think I might have talked about this.
You got it. Hey, everybody, let's uplift Anna Ruth real quick. Anna Ruth, you're beautiful, you are strong, you are intelligent,
strong individual,
and you can speak
We are so
properly.
proud of
You're
you.
very.
You might have just spoken tongues or something right there.
Hold on, everybody. Let's stop.
I feel like that's so cool, man.
I feel like that's so.
I don't know what. I think you just spoke a different language. It's like something like what you just said right there.
Okay, so what I was gonna say was, like, last week, or I guess it's 2 Sundays ago now. 2 Sundays ago, Matt. sorry, I've been a second.
She just looked me dead in the eyes and started laughing at me as if I did something I didn't do a thing.
She said.
Actually. Okay. Can we meditate real quick? Meditate on the good things. This tattoo, it says calm. It says C, celebrate God's goodness. A, ask him for help. L, leave your concerns with him. And M, meditate on the good things.
Did you forget L for a minute?
Yes, I forget L every single time.
I enjoy that she looked down at it as if the L was going to tell her what the L meant.
Anyways, let's meditate on the good things real quick. Okay?
Okay.
Let's just breathe so you can talk. Now speak.
Okay. 2 Sundays ago, Matt gave a sermon in Romans, and he said he was talking about standing.
You're real bad about speaking to the back of the microphone.
There's a front.
Yeah.
What?
This.
Yeah, the part that's covered.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There you go, Matt. A couple Sundays.
Yes. We're talking about not sinning and everything. Hey, but you were doing so good.
crying.
It's okay. You don't have to edit this out. It's fine. It's real. Okay. Let's talk about not singing.
How much do we have left?
Go home and go to bed.
Okay, finish.
This is important.
Two sentences
Whatever
ago.
whatever viewers we had are gone right now. It is-
2 Sundays ago.
Uplifting words. Okay, go.
Well, as it fits the occasion.
2 Sundays ago.
That was speaking about not sinning
And stuff.
and stuff.
Oh my god, I'm gonna feel myself and cry myself. Cry. Stop it, that's not funny. Okay, so he's talking about not sinning, and he said anytime you feel like you're gonna sin, one of the things you can do to prevent that is pray, because it's really hard to sin while you're praying. And so I told them, okay,
I also.
okay,
Everyone just look down. So she can finish.
yeah, do that. Okay, what I told them was that anytime you have something that's in your mind that you want to say, if you think it's good, whether it's good or bad, anything, like if you talk to God about it first and you pray about it first, then that's your filter. Like you don't have to have your own filter because God is your filter. So you
That's good.
That was groundbreaking.
you'll feel the varnaments, right?
No, that really is good. I mean, that's a
you'll,
good point.
You'll have that. You'll
Um,
know, like, if you really talk to God about it before, like, he's not gonna audibly tell you, no, don't say that, or yes, say this. But then, after talking to God about it, you will have thought about what you're actually going to say.
The conviction of
then-
the Holy Spirit inside of you as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I also told them, like, everybody has these bracelets and shirts and all this stuff, which is fine, but it's become more of a trend of, like, what would Jesus do? And I said,
What would Jesus do?
sorry. Is that a song?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
By Kane, WWJD.
But like genuinely think about what Jesus
What
Jesus do.
What would Jesus
and
actually do?
What would he say in this moment? So I told him part of
What
that
would Jesus say?
is knowing what he would say. Like
There's problems with that saying.
what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
Why? What's the problem?
What? So, people, to your point, people say, I think Pearl literally just said it earlier. People say, I just don't have a filter. To your point, they do have a filter if they're Christian, and it is God. It's just whether or not you use the filter or not.
Ooh, that's good.
You gotta work really hard at using a filter.
Huh?
You have to work really hard. For me personally, I have to work really hard to use a filter. But as I've grown closer to God and wanted to actually be a decent person, it's been a lot easier. So
What's the
Yeah.
problem
We're,
with what
we're
would
proud
Jesus
of
do?
you, Pearl.
thanks. That sounds like I was fishing for compliments, but I really wasn't. I hate compliments.
Oh, I'm sorry. then.
Take it back.
What's wrong with what would
Thank
Jesus do?
I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. It's like,
You're not Jesus.
it's nitpicky. Yeah, you're not Jesus. That's a really good point. So,
Also, people can use it to justify their actions.
indeed. And then you end up attributing to Jesus what is not Jesus.
Well, yeah, so then they're
Also,
just
didn't Jesus
stupid.
like persecute people?
Huh? What?
Nothing.
And then,
Didn't he like persecute people?
and again, I think sometimes people focus on too much on what would Jesus do, and they forget about that their circumstance is fulfilled really ultimately in what Jesus did. You know what I'm saying? And then also too, like what you were just saying is, we're not Jesus, so we can't always do what Jesus did. We're not meant to. Like I'm not going to die on a cross for your sins.
Right.
And that's the blatantly obvious one. But I mean, there's plenty of those, right? Like which we get into the we could get in,
BMLJ.
we could
Be
get
more
into the
like
weeds. We could get in the weeds on this right here, but like when it comes to miracles, it's like that's what Jesus did. Is that what I'm supposed to do too?
Right.
You know, so there's all kinds of different difficult. I don't want to say difficulty. That's
So-
probably wrong. But
BMLJ. Be more like Jesus. Is that better?
I'm not necessarily hating on what would Jesus do.
What would Jesus do? He would love first.
Fair enough.
Well, that's what like the
I know. The bracelets say.
yeah.
Well,
have a
the
blue bracelet.
difficulty with that is what love look. What does love look like?
Jesus.
Right.
Love is life.
Mhm.
Lifepoint. Belong. No.
Oh, also too, here's another Red Barn moment. It's also the difficulty with that is it's not necessarily that love is not something that Jesus does. It's something that He is.
Oh, that is really good.
Y'all, not everything he breathes is like groundbreaking.
Well, he said it was going to be a
He
red
is
bar
not
moment. So if we were to
Jesus.
not do that, it would have been disappointing.
No, it actually was good. So
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Have we been 30 minutes?
yes, I was about to
Okay.
wrap it up
Yeah.
after you were done talking.
Yeah.
But I was just waiting for you to
Let's do it.
stop talking. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the 9th episode of The Inside.
Is this 9
Come-
including the Halloween one?
It is.
It is including Halloween
The
one.
Halloween one's 8.
If you do not have a church to go to on Wednesday nights, come to Lifepoint. Food starts at 5:30. Service starts at 6. High school, middle schoolers 5 and 6 at the coffee house.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. We had do games and worship, and then Clay gives a message. So amazing, so amazing. So
And small groups.
everyone. Oh yeah, and small groups. Everyone say bye. Everyone dab.
Bye.
A. Oh wait, are we all gonna say? Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. We love you. There's nothing you can do about it.